Welcome to my haunted Cornwall vlog. So, as many of you will know, Cornwall is highly reputed to be haunted. Lots and lots of locations in Cornwall are some of the most haunted places in the UK. Snuggle up, get a warm drink or a glass of wine and join me by the log fire while you hear tales of mystery and legend from haunted Cornwall. I'm going to start off with the Jamaica Inn. The Jamaica Inn was built in 1750 and it's very haunted, very haunted. Even up to all through the years, there's been reports of ghosts and spooky goings on at the Jamaica Inn. And the Jamaica Inn still is a coaching house, and people from all over can stay there and break their journey as they come to Cornwall, or vice versa. And that's what they used to do in the olden days. The coaches used to stop there, and the ladies and gentlemen used to stay at the inn overnight. And part of the legend is this inn is in a very remote part of Cornwall. It's on moorland, and the moors are noted for being, if there's any bad weather, it's going to be on Bodmin Moor, and it's going to be snow and ice and make travelling very difficult. So, in the olden days, travellers would stop at the inn for refreshment or even to stay overnight. And the landlord of the inn sort of pretended to be a very, respectable citizen, but quite often they were in on the smuggling ring, and they were just keeping a very respectable, lovely coaching inn for people to stay at. But in reality, they were quite high up in the smuggling gang, really. And underneath the inn are tunnels and rooms and caches for all the brandy and the rum and whatever else that they got from the ship. And excisemen, which to you and I are tax inspectors, they used to travel up and down the country looking for suspicious characters and suspicious places that could be smuggling operations. And all the locals were involved in this, and they were fishermen and farmers and just ordinary people, but they were involved in it. And they knew when someone was an ordinary person, like a businessman or ladies that were travelling with escorts or just general ordinary people. They knew what those people were like, and they also knew what to look out for when it was an exciseman, the taxman. So of course, if they suspected somebody of being the taxman, they would just halt their smuggling activities and they would, just for the time being while he was there, and word would spread like wildfire that there was someone. It would go from town to town that there was somebody that looked as if they could be, suspicious. Now, Bodmin Moor is a very remote place, and the Jamaica Inn is it's just a very, very old inn that's in the middle of nowhere, let's put it that way. And but underneath, when the wreckers, I'll tell you about the wreckers. The wreckers, when it was a stormy night, they would deliberately hold their lanterns and guide the ships onto the rocks so that they would sink. And because they wanted to get all the cargo, all the rum and the brandy and anything else that was on that ship. And that's what they did. And they used to have wrecking parties. The minute the weather turned foul, they'd have these wrecking parties and see what they could get, what booty they could get. And then they would get all the casks and the barrels and all the goodies. And they would take them in caves that had tunnels and take them to places where they could link up with tunnels that were far away from the Jamaica Inn, but they eventually got to the Jamaica Inn via these tunnels, and all the dealings were done underground. And there were also a lot of mines that they sort of adapted a little bit. They'd take the stuff down a mine, and then there'd be a tunnel that was nothing to do with the mines at all, but there'd be a tunnel going to another tunnel. And eventually these tunnels all made their way to the Jamaica Inn and other places as well. And that's what the wreckers did. And that's where all their booty came from, really. That's where it came from. And anyway, so they also, the locals and the smugglers, if you like, they also could tell when there was a very wealthy gentleman travelling on his own, and they could tell by the clothes, they could tell by the luggage, and they could tell by the fact that they've come from London, very affluent and where all the money was, and they could also tell by the money they were spending that they were very rich, or at least affluent. And so what they did was they lured these people out under some pretense out of the inn and murdered them. And this one particular case that haunts the inn to this present day, they took him, this gentleman traveller, outside, they murdered him, and they buried him on the moor, on the bleak and desolate moor, in the dead of night, on a very stormy night, so the legend has it. And he's reputed to be one of the spirits that haunt the Jamaica Inn. Something that has happened recently, and you can check this out yourself. You can see the footage on online, and there's CCTV footage of the something that weird that happened there quite recently. There's a young woman. There's footage of a young woman in the bar. A bartender. She's in the bar. She's on her own, and the camera is, recording her cleaning and doing things. And all of a sudden, there's a noise behind her to the right, and she looks around, and then there's another camera view of a wall-mounted telephone, and the receiver is flung off. It actually shows it. You could find it. I think it's called the telephone scene or something. If you put in Jamaica Inn, haunting Jamaica Inn or something like that, the telephone scene, and you'll see it. And it doesn't just, if someone had put the receiver back and not quite put it back correctly, it would probably just drop down. It wouldn't come out and then fall. And that's what's happened with this one. That's why they thought it was a paranormal, event. Anyway, I've been to the Jamaica Inn about 3 times. The first time was over 25 years ago, and that was with another couple, and we just went for to soak up the atmosphere, to see if we could probably to see if we could see anything, spooky. And it was absolutely lovely. There's a fireplace. They probably got 2 or 3 fireplaces, but this one fireplace where we were, it had a huge granite lintel with granite uprights, and they were putting on. The landlord was coming with great logs about that long and about that thick, like half a tree, and putting that onto these thick layer of glowing embers. And it was just the most amazing place. If you ever get the chance to visit, you definitely should. So that was one time. Another time I went, and it was, and I didn't see anything, nothing happened. And another time I went, and it was for a meal en route to somewhere else. And then when my husband and I came back from America, I wanted him to experience staying in a 1750s built pub, English pub. And so I booked a room because we were on our way down from London to Cornwall. So I booked a room, and we got there dead of night. It was really stormy, spooky. Couldn't have been any spookier if it tried. And we were glad to get there, and the girl showed us to our room. And it was an old room. It had old beams like this place, and it had all oak furniture, all creaky wooden floors, and there was this huge, gorgeous 4-poster bed, and I thought, oh, this is it. This is gorgeous. So then we find out. Well, before that, I thought, this is gorgeous, but there's a very strange feel in this room. It was like there was some old paintings on the wall as well, and it looked, the classic thing of they're looking at you. The peeps in the paintings are looking at you wherever you were in this room. And I thought, oh, here we go. This is good. I'll get some lovely pictures, and it's going to be really good. And the bed looked gorgeous and everything soft. Anyway, and then we found out they had no Wi-Fi. Now, my husband was a IT director for this company in America, and he was responsible for releasing the money for all the wages. It had to be released from the bank, and it was imperative he had that. He had Wi-Fi, and it was imperative it was done that day. Otherwise, if it could have been something that could be done the next day, we definitely would have stayed there. I was really looking forward to it. I was absolutely gutted that we couldn't stay there. But the people were really lovely. They gave us our deposit back when we told them our situation. It wasn't that, we just wanted Wi-Fi. It wasn't that at all. It was that we had to have Wi-Fi. So we went on our merry way in the storm on a stormy, stormy night. We did manage to find another place that had Wi-Fi, and he could do what he had to do, and that was that. But I'll never, I really wanted to stay there. I really did. So there we are. So I hope you visit the Jamaica Inn, and it would be lovely if you stayed there, get the room that we almost had, and let me know. That's if you've got the stomach for it. That's if you believe in spirits and if you believe in strange goings on. You might not, or you might. That's all for now. Sending lots of love from the land of mist and legend. See you next time.